if you're like me and you're suffering with fibromyalgia, well, the likelihood is you're not getting enough sleep either. I know I don't. I'm always tossing and turning, waking the missus up until she wakes me up. You know how it goes. It's a pain in the derriere. And maybe separate beds is a good idea. But also understanding your condition. Do as much research as you possibly can on your condition. It also affects other people, not just yourself, because we're not all the same, are we? No. For instance, I'm a bloke, and fibromyalgia is it's more prolific in women, unfortunately for them. Probably because of the hormones and what have you. Since, they say some kind of hormonal shock is what possibly triggered your fibromyalgia. An accident or something like that. Giving birth, maybe. Well, there has been a study about sleep and fibromyalgia, that has. In a cross-sectional observational study, researchers determined the association between chronotypes, circadian rhythms, sleep-wake cycles, and sleep quality, and a response to SNRIs. Now, they are basic serotonins, antidepressants, which kind of concerns me a little bit. I haven't taken them yet. I'm going to see a doctor today, actually, so I might mention it, but I'm not keen. But I'm getting to that point now where management with painkillers is becoming difficult. And these SNRIs, these serotonins, and have been known also used for treating of nerve pain, not just antidepressants. Depressing. Oh, anyway, I'm not a depressant. I do suffer with depression a little bit sometimes. But as a whole, I kind of try and manage it by being happy, going out and enjoying nature and stuff like that, having a laugh, taking the mick out of people, letting them take the mick out of me, and just have a bit of a banter. You know how it goes? It's a bit of fun, and it makes you happy, and that's how I deal with it anyway. But you see, eligible participants were aged between 18 and 65 and had a diagnosis of fibromyalgia based on the American College of Rheumatology criteria. It's like pressure points and stuff like that. And had a history of treatment with the SNRIs, antidepressants. Oh. Now, the main outcome variable was a response to the SNRIs, as participants were assigned to two groups based on response or non-response to treatment with SNRIs. They also say further studies are needed, what have you. Yeah, fair enough. Cover your back, why don't you? Now, fibromyalgia severity was assessed using the Fibromyalgia Impact Questionnaire. I haven't seen that. Is there one? I haven't heard of that one, no. Anyway, it's Widespread Pain Index, Symptom Severity Scale. Oh my God. And Fibromyalgia Severity. They've all got acronyms. And in addition, the researchers used self-report questionnaires to assess patients' circadian preferences. That's a little bit dodgy when you're asking them to do the research for themselves, effectively. Tick this box, tick my okay. Some people are embarrassed to say that they don't always tell you the truth. They're embarrassed to. Biological rhythms, sleep-wake patterns, and sleep quality, efficiency, latency, and duration. A total of 90 participants, which is a reasonable sized study, were included in the study, and 30 had a response and 30 had non-response, oh dear, to SNRI treatment. 30 were control participants without fibromyalgia. Oh. Do we know which is which? The patients with non-response versus response to SNRIs had longer duration of illness, higher FIQ, SSS, and FS scores, and higher levels of impairment in physical functioning work and well-being, as well as higher pain levels. Compared with control participants, patients with fibromyalgia had lower morningness, morning effect, and circadian preference. Both groups of patients with fibromyalgia had reduced levels of morningness, eveningness, variable, except that morning effect was low in those with a non-response versus response to SNRIs. Crikey. Diurnal dysrhythmia. Oh, crikey. do you say that? And even chronotype were at lower levels in the control of versus fibromyalgia group, while both groups of patients with fibromyalgia had higher levels of circadian rhythm disruptions, and those with a non-response versus response to SNRIs had more significant disruptions in diurnal rhythms. Now, compared with the controlled group, the fibromyalgia group had higher morning lateness, lower nighttime sleepability, and decreased daytime wakeability. However, there were no significant differences between fibromyalgia groups of note in patients with fibromyalgia with a non-response versus patients with two SNRIs had a lower anytime wakeability. For the old words, aren't they? Eh? Now, sleep quality was noted to be lower among patients with versus without fibromyalgia, with the overall sleep quality significantly lower in those with non-response versus response to SNRIs. So the SNRIs appear to help to a degree, but it's fair to say that sleep quality is blooming important anyway, let alone with people with fibromyalgia. So really it's non-start. We need to sort our sleep habits out. And if you're in pain, it's very hard to do so. If you're like me, tossing and turning because you've got back pain or pain in your side, pain in your shoulders and stuff like that, sort of moving around your body, it feels like sometimes, and it's very hard to get comfortable. So you just wake up because you're in pain. You have to reposition yourself. How do you deal with that? Do you levitate? You know, so you're not exerting any body weight onto your muscles or joints. Is that what you got to do? Balance on your head, maybe. I can't do that because I've got tender spots in my scalp, so that don't help either. So it's a bit of a tricky one. You know, what is the solution? What is the answers here? Yes, we need more sleep, but how do we get it? You tell me. Leave it in the comments down below. But please, 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 beat the old like button because it helps the channel, you know. And it's only a young channel. And I started this because I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and I felt it's quite a good idea to try and share my experiences with you. So anyway, beat the like button that helps the channel, like I say. Toodaloo.